Hello everybody, welcome to Facebook Live. My name is Stephanie Waitman. I know loads of you are regulars, so I'm really looking forward to spending some time with you and doing some fabulous projects and showing you everything that you can do with the At a Glance collection. Let me say that again, at a glance, at a glance, at a glance. That's the one, that's what we're going to do. And there they are for you. Excuse me, we've got in the garden clover, we've also got the poppy, then we've got by the stream the lovely yellow flowers, and we've also got motley grasses. I love the motley grasses because not only do I look and feel a little bit motley, but there is a beautiful butterfly there, and just occasionally with plenty of warning and lots of polyfiller, I scrub up like beautiful butterflies too. Anyway, where did that come from? Completely random, but a lovely afternoon and hello. Rita, hi, how are you? It's good to, Teresa, sorry, I'm Teresa. I'm going to show you all some lovely ideas and some different designs. So first of all, what I'd like to do is I'm going to talk through exactly how this system works, because what you're getting with each of the dies is you get the outline die, and then you get this beautiful bouquet of flowers. Now, each one of these is a collection of florals. It isn't just one or two, it's a whole set of different flowers. So you'll actually be able to collect, and this one's the clover. You're getting this little bunch. So they're already in a really pretty composition for you to get you started. Then the next thing that we do, once you've got your die and you've printed out your reflections, and these are on the Highlight Crafts website, you take the die, and I'm going to work with the inside, the detail die. This goes directly over the top of it so that you can't see the outline of the flower, as much of it's covered up as possible, and then tape that down and pass that through your die cutting machine. This one, on the other hand, can be your aperture, it can be for a freestanding card, loads of other different things that you can do with it. So you've got two of those for each of the beautiful flowers that we've seen. I mean, and today they're just $35.99 if you're a Robin's Club, Robin's Nest member. So I'm going to show you some of these different designs that we've got for you. They've been made by our lovely design team, who hopefully I'm going to be speaking to them all this afternoon. I'm just telling them what a wonderful job that they're doing. But I want to show you some of the detail that we've got here. So this is actually taking the clover. Now, you don't need very many pieces of each of these to be able to get round a full wreath. So that's a single piece of clover, and you can see how it is just being repeated round the actual wreath, just 4 times and layered up. Now, I know, Sue, you've already got these, and I'm hoping that as soon as you get them, you're going to love making some beautiful samples. Big hello to Nikki, to Teresa, we've already seen you there. Sue, of course, then Donna, Pauline, and it's really nice that you've all joined me. So thank you ever so much. And to the lovely Sarah, who I know is with us as well. Catherine, how are you? It's good to see you there. And Naomi as well. So what a really fabulous collection this is, because it's very, very delicate in terms of the flowers. So that's one of the beautiful designs that we've got for you. That's one from the collection. I'm just going to show you a couple more. So this is one that was made by Kath, and it's using that lovely bird bath that we've got, our little sleepy gnome at the bottom, and then the flowers just cascading down the sides and getting all that detail there, and then being able to lift up elements of it. And I think what's really important with this is we want depth of flowers. So we don't want to be able to see the background through them. What we want is, yes, some little bits of open space like we've got up here, but for the majority, we want it to be really full and solid with all the elements. So that's one design for you. Here is another one that was also done by Kath. This is actually the other element from the bird bath. So this is the larger one. And again, you can see Look how full it is. So we're not seeing the detail of the coloured card behind it. It's literally just full of this huge bouquet of flowers. And there are so many elements in the two Red Robins collections that work as containers. And each one of them really lends itself to working with these lovely flowers. Look again at the detail, lift the little wings from the butterfly, get more depth in there. Then we come on to this one where you've got, this is our broken trellis, and you've got the detail here and all of those little petals, little flowers. But this time they're to the side, making the most of the detail that you've got. And if you just take a little look here, we've actually got a very, very delicate background in place where that is just adding that extra little bit of colour so that the flowers, again, look like they've got depth and dimension. So that's another good one to be doing. And then this one is, this is one of the cards, I think this is one of Steve's. And he's becoming quite a master at creating a picture on the front. And then when you open it up, there's a different story inside. And I think this lends itself beautifully to that sort of look and feel. And then Louise has taken it down a different route. So what she's done here is she's taken a card shape to be able to, one of our foundation dies, and created the card shape to be able to really bring that story together. And even though the butterflies are flying off in different directions, it just looks like somebody has, the wind has just come along and just blown on the flowers and the butterflies have just floated off. And then another one from Louise here, using the jam jar and bringing all the detail round the side and getting that S shape that we get when we're actually looking at different constructions and different different compositions. So what I'm going to do for you is a couple of things. I thought, first of all, I'm going to build something in a little tin. So I've sneaked one of Mel's fairy tins. And the other thing that I've done is I've gone into a collection of dies, and it's this one. And it's called Just the One, and it's our biscuit tin of dies. Now it says there's only 5 dies, but there's actually, you get 6. So Andrew counted it, and he's sure because he took his socks off to make sure he'd got all of them. We've got it on a special price for you, and although it should be $17.99 for Robin's Nesters, it's $11.33, so you've got a nice saving there. Now, when I come to put this into my tin, it isn't going to fit. So I've got the tins here, and I'm just trying it, and it just doesn't want to fit. So this is the one that fits the closest. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to snip off the lid. I'm going to show you something that I only worked out a couple of hours ago when I was doing some prep for this. So the tin doesn't look quite right when it's like that, but I think there's more that we can do to make this clever. So the first thing that I've got is I've got a piece of construction acetate, and I think by now you've probably worked out, in fact, let me use this piece because it's a bit stronger. I'm absolutely, oh gosh, I'm just so in love with this acetate at the moment. So this was just a piece of scrap. Tasha went to find me some and she pulled me a big piece out, and I said, I just need a piece of waste. So just get me a piece of waste, which is what we've got. Hi to everybody who's just joined. Thank you so much. We're working with At a Glance, a new collection. It's available on Highlight Crafts. It'll be coming to TV soon. We've got a special price at $35.99 for club members. That's our Robin's Nesters. And also I wanted to mention for anybody who missed Christmas this week, because oh my gosh, that sold out faster than anything we've ever had. We've reordered it. We'll get it back on TV. We'll get it on Highlight Crafts for you. I'm trying to see if we can do sort of like a little wait list or something just for people so that you don't feel like you're going to miss out again. But we'll see what we can do. It's going to be about 2 or 3 weeks. Right, what I did, first of all, was I folded in the edge here. So I've folded in that edge, and the next thing I did was I've made sure that this platform is not as deep as this. So if I look at it, it's coming probably 2/3 of the way up, okay? That's the first thing I needed to measure. The next thing is where the next crease is going to go. So I've found that the best way of being able to score this, butt it up against the inside of the tin and then just pinch it and fold it round, and it'll pull away from this edge. But that is just enough for you to be able to get it the right size. So now I should be able to pop that in. Don't worry if it bows just a little tiny bit, because that actually also will help the dimension. And I'm just going to trim off the other side. So I need both of these pieces sort of out. So I've got a flat piece and then a right angle, flat and a right angle. That's on both sides. And then I'm just going to tuck this in like that and check that it fits. A little bit of bowing, but I'm happy with it. Push the sides out, and then this is how it gets glued. So the liner tape is going to go, it's just going to go along this bottom edge here, just there. And I'll snip that piece. And then the other one is going to go along the same on the bottom edge on the other side. Now, when I was doing this, I considered a couple of things. I looked at, should I put a scene behind it, and made the decision that actually I thought I could make it more interesting without. So that was one thing. And the other thing was whether I use the frames that Mel has for her tins, because this is a Quirky Bird tin, or whether I went without, and I decided again to go without. So, first of all, if I take my poppies and I tuck those in, look how well they fit in the back of the tin. And then, if I then take that piece of my glue off, and I've got to get this to, so first of all, let me take that out, get one side stuck first, and get that stuck in. So I've taken the glue out, and I'm just giving that a really good rub down. The next thing, I've got my little poppy and flowers, and I'm just going to trim it a little bit because I've got an idea of how I'm going to want this to look when I'm just going to take that little blue flower out and go round that petal so it looks natural. And I'm going to take out this daisy, and in fact that little poppy seed, but I need to keep that because I'm going to use that in a moment. And then I'm just going to take the daisy out, and this is then going to sit into the tin. So when I put it in before, it was quite tight at the top, but now you can see I've got a lot more room in there. To put this in place, I'm going to take a tiny piece of my liner tape. I've got these two feeding off at the same time, so I just need to separate that. Hello everybody, it's so nice to have your company. I can't believe how many people we're getting on our Facebook Lives. It's so good to have you. I don't know, you know, I've just had my lunch. I don't know what you guys have had. In fact, I'll tell you what I've had today, but don't tell Carl because I'm supposed to be on a blinking diet. But I had a sausage roll, which Andrew, my lovely producer Andrew, kindly bought for me. So he's treated me twice this week. I had a sausage roll. Then I've had, then the man that brings the printer cartridges bought some sweets in. So I've had like 2 lemon sherbet sweets. And then Carl went and got lunch for me because it's our wedding anniversary today. And so I don't know how many years I've been married, but I know it's a long time. And so he went and got lunch for me. I had a ham salad for lunch. So, right now, this bit. To get this tape to stick down here, you need something that you can use to press it in place. That pair of scissors isn't quite long enough. So, and I just need to lift it up at this end a tiny little bit. So, oops, there it is. It came perfectly clear, free then. So just pressing that in place and lifting that up. Oh, come on, everybody. Let's get you straight. Oh, thanks for wishing me happy anniversary. After this, do you know what I'm doing straight after this? Making him an anniversary card. I know. I was like, whoops. Oh, and my parties at the weekend, you know, I was absolutely shattered. Can you see now we've got that glow over there? I couldn't believe how much noise 5-year-olds could make. They were adorable, but still super, super noisy. Right, guys, I want to make a little change to this because I'm not happy with the height of this bowing. So I'm just going to lift out one side. Which one's going to come out the easiest? That one's going to come out the easiest. And I'm going to make an extra little crease, literally 2 millimeters from the one that I just did. So I think I've just got a tiny bit too much width here. So, so little Amelia, who's 5, came and it was her birthday. So she's granddaughter number 1. And of course then Kirsty, who you all will know because Kirsty and I work together, she's got a little girl called Lily. So Amelia was 5. Amelia said to Grandad, when he said, what would you like for your birthday? She said a unicorn, a real unicorn. Well, of course, that's what every little 5-year-old girl wants. So a unicorn, he said, well, Amelia, that could prove difficult. Where do we get a unicorn from? She said, a unicorn shop, of course. So so in the end, she got a scooter and she was super happy with it. She was like, really, you know, that was like, it was pink and it was everything little girls want. Super happy. She had a unicorn party. Her birthday cake was a unicorn dinosaur cake. And in fact, I'll put a picture on my Facebook page after this because I said, can we not have unicorns or dinosaurs? She's like, no, I need both. I need them. Grandma, I need both. Well, the cake started off, I think it was carded a 14-inch round and then an 8-inch round to sit on top. So he made the chocolate cake, I'm the decorator. So we made it, went in the fridge, came out, rock hard. I was like, this isn't going to work. So he made the cake again. So second chocolate cake. First one's in the freezer, going to get used for desserts, or I'll make sticky toffee puddings with it or something. Second one, made it, started icing it. Well, you know how hot it was last week. It started off like this and like this. And the following morning I came down, it shrunk a third and gone out by a third. And it just looked like a melted snowman. I was like, oh no. So thank goodness for the internet. I'm quickly on the internet, getting more supplies, ready to make it. And now, she was absolutely delighted, so it all turned out all right. But I have to say, there were a lot of sprinkles on it, covering up all the things that had gone wrong. So now we've got, look at how we've managed to make it look like they're in the background. And if I put another one on top, you know how we were wanting to get that effect of it being really busy. So look there, and then there. Or if I just put that one to the back, it just doesn't have that same depth. So it really makes a difference putting that acetate frame in there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be using this piece that I've trimmed the lid from. Okay, now to make it easy for me to tuck the flowers in, I was thinking about this earlier and trying to work out the best way of explaining it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to snip down there, and I've left about 0.5 centimetre at this end free. So this now is going to allow me to get underneath there. So the first part of it, I'm going to get a little bit of my tape just along that bottom edge. So there's nothing at this bit here that goes to the back. I've just got it onto the front. And I'm going to put wet glue on this bit. So the wet glue is going to go there. That bit's on the front ready. So I just need to get this to the bottom of or somewhere close to the acetate. And then I can still slide that underneath. So I'm going to be able to tuck these flowers in. So now I've got to actually think about my composition. Remember I saved that little poppy head? Well, now you're going to see some of the reasons why. So where I go now, I'm going to snip into here and I'm going to make that daisy free from the edges of the design, not from the leaves on the side, but from these edges. So now when I slide it in, if I show you this bit, look at how that actually sits over the front. And then I'm going to do this, and we will get these flowers on Create and Craft for you. It's just at the moment, because it's Christmas, and not everybody wants to do Christmas, we just thought this would be a really nice way of being able to share something with you. So I've got that flower up there and I've got my poppy. So I'm going to just tuck this in like that, because what's going to happen is this piece of the lid is going to sit over here. So we've saved that, so it's still, the lid still feels like it's part of the design. So I've started off and I've got that part of it in place. I'm just going to hold it all down by putting just a little bit of glue underneath there. So that's held. Then I go to my glue gel, and I was watching Christine on Create and Craft just before I came in here. She's got glue gel on there at the moment. I think we do have it on Highlight Crafts as well, but she's on Create and Craft. And right, let me explain to you what's happened here. So when you put the lid on, if you don't make a little bubble of glue, it actually starts to dry out, and you have to then squeeze this out before you get back to the wet bit. And I think, so you make a little bubble and then put the lid on. Now I think if that happens to you, you've probably only got about a week of not using your glue before it dries out so much that you've got to really dig it out. So that little daisy there has got a little blob of glue in it. And you can see now how it's lifted up a little bit and how we've got that dimension. The whole thing's been supported by this acetate that we've got here. So I'm just going to lift up this poppy and put a tiny little bit of adhesive behind there. So we've got a tiny bit of it. So we're stuck with, we've got the dimension to the design. I'm going to go back to that little seed head that I cut off, which is just here. And this one is going to have a home. So the pin flare glue gel goes on the end like that. And then at the same time, a little bit of my bookbinding glue just on that tip there. Now this likes to stick to paper, although the glue gel will stick to absolutely anything. So I'm just going to use my scissors as a pair of tweezers, and I'm going to place that down and move that poppy head so that it's coming out there. And then I'm going to get one more of these. Actually, let me see if this one might do the job. I'm just going to try whether this will do the job there. No, I don't like the look of it. I'm going to go back into this poppy because I'm going to take part of it to decoupage. So I'm just going round the edges using the little pips to break up the elements of the design and get that so that I can decoupage the centre of that poppy like that with my glue gel there, just over the top, getting that little bit of dimension so that we've got that poppy bud coming behind and it doesn't look like it's not meant to be there. Right, the next thing I've got is I've got a couple of bits of greenery that I'm just going to tuck in behind. So I've got a whole host of this amongst all the collections that we've got. So I've got some different elements from my clover that I've got there. I've got all these pieces. So I've got tons of different elements to be able to choose and use. And looking at the design, I think a couple of these little flowers, and because we've got that acetate in, it's supporting the whole thing. So look at how easy it is for me to tuck these in, and as long as I've not got anything stuck in its way, it'll allow me to get those little pieces tucked in, get some extra dimension, put some of these in as just little green fronds that if like. Not liking that piece out there, and the reason is because it's mimicking what's happening here. It's looking too similar, it's drawing my eye and fighting. Just looking at one or two of these other little elements and seeing what else might look nice. So I think I'll take that one and tuck that in. I'm going to have one of my little cornflowers, which I'm going to decoupage, and then a couple of little butterflies, and I think we're done. And so with the decoupage here, I'm taking away the back of the flower, the bit that holds it all together, where the calyx is, I think they call it. That's part of it. And just going to go into these little elements, take that out, get some dimension on this, and you'll see how I've really built this part of it. It's making me want to put a daisy in there. I'm sorry, everybody. I think it's just for finishing off. I am going to do this as a giveaway, by the way, just so that everybody knows. So look at that extra bit of dimension. Now, those flowers behind are really making a difference because they're bringing the whole thing to life. So I think if we come in here and I just take one of those daisies, and I haven't had to cut loads of decoupage from loads of sheets. One sheet here has been enough for everything that I've needed. I'm going to take that piece out, go in there, make sure I've got all these petals really nicely rounded. There, there, and there. And a bit more shaping, a little bit of glue on there. And it's great because that acetate's really supporting it, so I can get quite a lot of pressure on when I'm laying this down, making sure that everything is in place. So I'm happy now. I've got some dimension to my design. What I need now are my butterflies. So these are going on with just some wet glue. So I'll put one just there, and I've got another one here. This one is going to go just there. So our butterflies are actually on the tin, like that, inside. Now I've got this lid that I've got to put on because we're going to tuck this in. We're going to have some flowers coming forward and some coming behind. So I just want to see where that's going to go and where I'm going to put it, how I'm going to fit this in. So I'm just going to take off that little corner there so that it goes in nice and neatly like that. And we'll lift this, put some pin flare glue gel on. So I'm just going to get some of that there, some down there. Tuck that right in so it goes like that. So the lid is just leaning against all our flowers. And then the other thing I need to do is just bring a couple of them to the front. So that's one that I've cut away, but it's perfect. So let's take you there. Thank you everybody for joining. It's been such a pleasure. It's really good to have your company. So there's that little poppy there. Here's the last one that I need. And then this is going to go to somebody as a little surprise. So imagine opening up your tin, and inside it's not just a little bit of decoration, but it is a whole host of a beautiful little bouquet. And we could put our little tag message on the other side, and it just gives us the finishing touches. So I think we'll just pop that one just there. So again, tiny bit of pin flare glue gel, and you are going to sit right there. Now, what's lovely about this, and I'm going to lift it up and let you see, is that if I didn't have all those layers with the acetate behind it, look at how much depth I've got to this. I mean, it's huge. It looks like layers and layers of detail. And that is because we've used the acetate as a support. So you've got one set of designs right at the back, then the acetate's the support, and then the rest of it becomes alive as you put all the elements in it. So when you open up your little tin, it starts off like this and opens up to tell the story that's inside. So lovely. Right, now, if anybody wants to get hold of that, I'm going to show you where it is on the website. So here it is. This is the detail. And there's a Craft TV drop down on the website. You can use that. That actually is a good place to start. And the other thing is, I'm just looking for something that I need, which I've got. So there it is for you to be able to start working with. And you've got everything that you need just there. Right, I want to show you a little trick. So I wanted to make some bouquets and some wreaths, and I was thinking about this because I've been designing some. I was thinking about it and thinking, how can we do this and make it work for everybody without us having to stick everything down to a base? Because I wanted the lightness of us being able to see through something. So I came up with this. So find yourself something that will stand off your work surface. So I've got a roll of foam that's like this. Then you need to get cut out all of your flowers. My little, I'm going to need my little butterflies. I've got my different elements. I've got all of them here. Right, so the first thing that I do is I lay that on the side of my design, okay? Now, I can see clearly where if I stick glue, it's going to end up stuck to this. So that's why you need a circle that you can actually see. Then I can come round like this. And finally, I can come round like this. And you're starting to create your crescents and your wreaths. So what you then need to do is work out the dimension. So first of all, I need that part of it lifted up. So I want this bit intertwined. So I'm going to tuck it in just there and lift up that clover, but tuck it in there. And then this one, I've got another clover there that wants to come to the front. So I can see where I'm going to snip, and it's there. So I'm going to snip that. That should be enough. No, it's not quite enough. So although this is now snipping into this base, I'm still going to keep snipping like that until I can bring that clover forward. So let me just check on the back what I've got in the way. So I need to tuck you in like that. So I can now bring this one to the front. Come on. That's it. There. So get that bit back the right way. And need to do one more snip there so it's freed. And one snip there. That's it. Right. So, oops, I've actually snipped it completely, but that's fine because we can still glue. So now I've got the start of my wreath coming around. So I'm going to start to do a little bit of sticking. So first of all, where I've pulled this one forward, I'm going to stick that bit here. So a little bit on that softness, or the piece that's is quite delicate, and just hold that in place. On the back, where I push this forward, that bit, I'm just going to stick that down. So these two pieces will become one. So that's the first part of it, okay? And I've started to create my crescent that's coming round. Now, the next thing, I'll just put that clover back in because I know I've borrowed it from about there. So I'm going to put that on. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to snip out any bits that are excess. So I'm going to thin it out, a bit like you thin the trees out in the garden. So there we go. So I like that so far, but it's very busy around here. Unless I put some more clover in, which actually that looks quite good. So let me keep my circle. So I'm coming round there. I'm going to come round there. Actually, I'm liking that. I think that's starting to look really nice. So this one doesn't need intertwining. It just needs gluing on top. So I'm going to glue it there. And I'm going to glue it there. And for some reason, because you've got this circle underneath, you're constantly reminded of the shape. You're thinking about the dimension. If I work flat like that, look at how much harder it is to see my circle. I mean, I've just lost it. Whereas when I put it on there, it's much, much easier to see which direction I'm going in, to see that that is going to go just there. And then I've got, so I need to space these out a little bit because I need to put some of my other flowers in. But literally, by doing this, I'm keeping that circular wreath shape, and that white is helping me keep that shape in mind. So I'm just going to move these out the way, and let's put some of my little cowslip in just there. Maybe not all of it. I don't need all of it. So I'm going to snip out a little bit of it to there and bring it just like that. So I'm keeping that oval and the round as part of the design. Then I come back with this. I'm going to bring in a bit more of my parsley. And this just here, like this. And then look at how I put that one in there. Look at how I've created that wreath. Now I'm just going to move this away and try and do it without. And you'll see it's so much harder to try and get this dimension to the shape that we need. Just trying to pull it all together. You've got to keep working at it. And I've got that circle in my mind, but put a shape underneath. So what are we going to do if we want to do something that's a square or a rectangle? Well, do the same thing that we've just done. So cut yourself a square and then with a square frame. But the other thing that I also found was that if I wanted to, because I've been doing a lot of work on composition lately, so let's say I want to do something that's an L shape. I found my flowers getting really distracted from my shapes. So here we go again. Let's go here. So I'm going to go round the L there, and I'm going to put my flower there. I'm going to add a bit more detail up there, and I'm going to take these and put them in just there. Now, when I take that away, look at how well that shape works. So what I've discovered purely by accident is that by having the shape already underneath the design, you're much more likely to get the perfect shape that you want. Let me show you another one, this one. So, right, you all know how to cut a heart, right? Well, just in case you don't, I'm just going to do one for you. So you fold your piece of card, draw around a circle, or imagine you've got a circle. So I'm just going to imagine I've got a circle drawn just off the edge of my heart, and there's my heart shaped. Let me just get this circle a bit better. So there, so there's the circle, and I've just taken the scissors round to there. Here's my heart shape. Let's fill this heart with flowers. So I'm going to take those to there. I'm going to take these, don't need that bit, to here, but I need to trim this off. So I'm going to trim off these extra ones. It's just so much easier than what I was trying to do before, where I was struggling to get the shapes that I wanted. So I'm taking those to there. I'm going to take this piece. Let's see where you're going to go. I'm going to fill that into there. Then I've got this, which I'm just doing, and I'm going fairly quickly because of the time. But look at that. Then I need another piece which can go there. And this piece, which if I take it in there, I think about there, you'll see. I'm going to fill that in like that. Right, now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue, in fact, that's a better piece than that bit. I'm just going to glue this together and you will see how we're creating this heart. And when we lift it all, in fact, I don't think I need to glue it to be able to show you it. Let's move that. I've got too much overlap in here, so I can trim this away. And so we're not just getting wreaths of flowers here, we're getting whole, like, almost like carpets of them. Put that there, just like that. Get you there. That one's going to overlap just there. This one's going to fill in this big space for us, and this one's going to go there. Right, let me do that right now. I'm going to get this heart out without moving them. It's going to be a challenge. But let's see. There we go. Look at that. How I've actually got my heart with my heart shape, with my flowers. I'm just going to angle that one a tiny bit more to keep that heart in. I think I need some of those little flowers down here because it feels like they're forgotten. But look, I've created a heart, a bed of flowers. So and then you can go in and just snip the odd ones out if you feel like you need to snip an odd one out to get a little bit of dimension. But it's so interesting how these shapes grow, and what you do, you create them from what you start off with and are able to then build in the designs. And I'm just going to snip a couple of these little petals out because that gets that a little bit more perfect. And actually, those two want to go over there like that. Right, I've got some poppies. I wanted to show you with the poppies what I would be doing with these. So with my poppies, I'm going to create a little wreath. Now this is quite challenging because we've got a lot of flowers in here and it's very heavy. So unless we want that wreath to be really big, we need to snip in here and we need to break this into two pieces. But one of them needs to be able to curve round like that. So that's the start of the curve, which then means this one can curve round there. And immediately you can see this poppy starting to come to life. And I've got another one here that's already got a little bit of shape and decoupage to it. So I'm just going to take off a couple of those little fronds. And you can start to see where you need to build up the design and how you need to build it to get those wreaths in place. I still could do with another couple of poppies. So let's have a look at what I've got. Let's go in there again. This time I want that part of it to curve. So I'm going to go in round here. And where you get a flower that just looks like it's been cut, so it doesn't have any, it doesn't have nice edges, you know, take that piece out of the way. Where it's, for instance, it just looks a little bit, maybe not enough detail. So what you can do is, where I've gone in there like that to create that curve, I'd then go back into something like this, pick out some flowers and just put them on the edges to break up where I've cut into the design. Let's take that one out there and move that to there. So again, we're starting to create that poppy wreath. And it would have been so much harder to do without that white edge underneath, just bringing the design together. Please, everybody, have a little go at using this technique, because I think you will find it's really makes life so much easier to visualize what we're doing and how we're doing it. And then I'm going to go into there. We've got some lovely foliage amongst these little bits of greenery, and they're going to just tuck in. In fact, I'm not even going to take that stem off, because I think we might enjoy using that bit of it. Let's tuck that in. You can start adding in little bits to make it fuller. And so this one I'll glue together. I said I'd glue the last one, I didn't, so let me glue this one, and we'll watch us pick this wreath up and see the circle and the effect that it's had on the design. So I'm just going to feed that bit there, little bits on those leaves, catch that there. Right, where's the next piece that's loose? It's loose round here, so I need that poppy head for sure. There. I'm going to come round here, and I need something that's going to link these two poppies. So that white flower, that little bit of greenery, just here. I'm going to put my poppies fell off. Go on back there, poppy. My little butterfly, I'll put you up here, so I'll have you up now. So I'll get you there. That's on. That's just going to get that holding. There. Okay, so we've got it a little bit tight here, so I'm going to release that. There. We put this poppy here. Oh, like that. And this is the fun bit of crafting, just being able to constantly try new things and experiment with them. And it really is only when you try something and you don't get the result that you want and you think, well, how can I make this easier? Well, we're crafting all day, every day. So we're constantly coming up with ways of making our crafting simpler, because we have so much that we need to get done in the time that we've got that, of course, you know, it's like, what can we do to just make life a little bit simpler, a little bit quicker, but still get really professional results? And that's part of what we're doing. So now I'm able to pick the whole thing up. I can see that I've still got one or two little gaps. So I think I need a little bit of greenery up here. So I'm cutting in, and at this point I am starting to try and make sure that I've got everything as neat as possible, not just, you know, I'm not just snipping it, I'm actually thinking about where I'm snipping, where I'm placing the glue. So I've got that there, so it's looking quite nice. Let's have another look and see what else I'm missing. So down here needs something, and I think it could do with one of these daisies. So I'm going to go right into the middle, and in fact I'm going to take that piece there as well, and out to there and right into that. So I'm taking that little daisy and I'm just going to tuck it. Am I going to tuck it over or over, I think. So we'll take you over. Just tuck that in so that, hold that in place. I've got this one that has just come. I'm a bit impatient with my glue, unfortunately, but that's the nature of what we're doing. Just wanting to make this as full as possible. And then we've got some gaps here, but it needs blue. I've got my blue, I could do with my blue in threes. So I'm going to think about where it's going. Definitely want that piece. I'm going to snip there, take out that poppy. I think that's going to be too much. So snip into this bit here. Right, so I need this one and this one. Both of those together. And I'm going to lay one on top of the other to give myself that extra little bit of blue. Not worrying that there's a tiny bit of red there, because the red actually just would look like another flower's peeking through. But I'm going to tuck those in there like that. So let's get that glued just down there where this one keeps popping out from somewhere. Let's get you back in place. So I'm just going to hold that for a second or two more and then take a look at this, put it on my thing. It's fuller here than it is here. So I've got time to just get a couple more poppies out. So I'm going to put that one there. So that can go just as a filler. This daisy looks like it needs a home. So I'm going to put that daisy just there. So we'll take that along here. And please, everybody, try doing this. I know if you've just joined, thank you ever so much. Try doing this without the ring. It is almost twice as hard and some. It's so much easier having that ring underneath. And I never, ever didn't even realise until I started trying to do this myself earlier today. And we've been doing these compositions and I've been trying to find out quicker ways of doing them and giving you the best possible results. So there's my butterfly at the top. I think I need another butterfly. There's got to be one in here somewhere. So where are you? There you go. Here's my little butterfly. And I'm just going to put you there. And I've got now a ring that when I hold this up, you will see how pretty that is. And that could now just hang inside an aperture. So I'm just going to hold this piece of paper up. So it could hang inside an aperture and look at how beautiful that wreath is. So we haven't had to use a ring of acetate. We literally haven't used anything other than the flowers to hold the whole thing together. So whether you're doing a carpet for a heart, you're doing a ring for your flowers, or you're making yourself a little flower tin, this collection's absolutely stunning and it's so easy to work with. But for me, the secret is those fillers, really getting depth to the flowers. And of course, you've got everything that you need to be able to do that. Now, I know that Christmas is sold out, guys. We have got some of our other Christmas on Highlight Crafts, and we placed an order as soon as I could yesterday. I placed an order first thing. I'm expecting it's going to be a couple of weeks. We'll get it back on Create and Craft. We'll get it back up. We'll get it on Highlight Crafts, because it's not been on Highlight Crafts yet. But take a check and have a look at our other Christmas designs. And in the meantime, at a glance, I think it's just gorgeous, and I know you're going to love it. Whether you use it, as I've just done, to make these free wreaths, which are just so delicate and pretty, or you use it to do designs like this, or like this one, or this one, or this one, or this one, and it just keeps on going. And I promise I'll put that birthday cake up, but I'm not taking orders, just so you know. Well, not that I think I would have done, but I'm definitely not. I don't think my stress levels can't cope with it. I'd much rather be crafting. Massive, massive thank you to everybody. You are all superstars, as always, and I look forward to seeing you. Oh, by the way, I'm just finishing painting my Christmas samples, because I'm going to be on Create and Craft with them on Friday morning, showing you how to paint Christmas. So that's going to be pretty exciting. So I'll see you all soon. Take care, everybody.